Hey, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Wady of Dreamslide Productions, and as you can see, I have the new Akai MPC Live 3. Now, those that have been rocking with me for a while will have seen in my old first starting YouTube videos, which was now, about 15 years ago, which is wild to only have 600 subscribers when I've been on here so long. So please help a brother out, do something about that, subscribe to your boy. But moving on, 15 years ago, I did have the MPC 1000. It's what I started my channel on. I was a big MPC user, and then I moved over to the Maschine platform and have been diehard Maschine ever since. Now, me getting this doesn't mean I'm going to stop using my Maschine. You know, that's my baby. We still rocking. I got a ton of projects on that I still need to go through and finish. But there were a lot of peculiar circumstances that led me to this device, and I wanted to do like a first look unboxing and talk about how I got there. So let's start with that. So I've had this device for about 2 weeks now, and there's a lot of stuff I learned, a lot of stuff I am still learning, and I wanted to talk about some of the great things about it as far as some limitations. Does this meet up to the needs of someone who really is DAW focused and machine focused? Does this fully hit everything I need it to do if I wanted to take a unit and be portable and go somewhere else? I'm going to hit on all of that. So like I said, I've had it for about 2 weeks now, and I'm wrapping my head around it. There's some really great things about this device, and I wanted to see if it can live up to the name of live and try a little live one-take performance. So let me show you some of the things I have figured out within the 2 week time span to put into a performance. All right, so as you can see, this device is very capable. It can do a lot of things. The learning curve is steep. You guys, I went to school for music. I've been around a ton of different devices. I used to use the MPC 1000. I'm very advanced with my Maschine. If you think you have a workflow somewhere and you're gonna pick this up on day one and just do your workflow, you are in for a huge humbling experience, because the learning curve, as I said, is immense. some things do make sense and other things is just, I don't want to hate. So some things make sense while other things I'm like, is it a me and I have a bias for how I like to work through things, or if like, is that Akai just making a weird decision? So I'm going to go over some of those things here with that. But like I said, I'm not going to try to dive too deep because I won't want this to turn into like its own thing. You will see a lot more content on the MPC Live 3, as well as some other new things that I have floating around the studio coming soon. All right, so first and foremost, I guess I'm in the minority because I personally think this thing looks sexy as hell. I love the design choices. I don't think it's too many buttons. Now, granted, I never messed with an MPC Live 1 or 2, so I think like a lot of the fan base from those devices are the ones that are like complaining about that, but I personally think it's dope. All right. I like how the pads look. I like at first glance, you're like, oh, these are separated for a reason. Even when I was talking to my daughter and my wife and I was showing them the device, they're like, oh, that probably does something in the corners. And they just said like, yeah, you know, that makes sense because of how it's designed. So I think I have no beef with that at all. I love where the mic placement is. You know, this thing knocks with the speakers. I will say on the flip side of that is the size is awkward. You really do have to get like a specialized bag for it or case. I'm still waiting for them to make a deck saver because the size is a little bigger than maybe what it shows on the YouTube videos. Other than that, it isn't a big deal. I'm used to carrying around my gear a lot, so the weight isn't a big deal to me. I think it's like, I don't know, somewhere between 8 and 10 pounds. People are like, it's heavy. Like, I mean, yeah, you can't throw it in your pocket, but like, I don't really consider that a big deal. So how I actually decided to come and grab this piece of equipment is because I was looking to replace my Yamaha keyboard and I was looking at different workstations. I was comparing between the Modi X and the Roland Phantom, and I was really liking the Roland Phantom after I messed with it because it had a clip launcher. And someone was like, well, you know, the MPCs have that clip launcher, but it's better. Have you tried messing with that? And for the same amount of money, I can grab this and a nice 88 key weighted keyboard. And this is my sound module, my recording, my clip launcher, and it's far more powerful than a keyboard workstation as far as like recording capabilities go, which is really all I need. So I decided to go with this here. All the things of the Live 3 that they advertise as new, all the new features are ideally what sold me on it. I was so interested in the pads, the whole XY thing, and you know, this is just a demo kit that it comes with, you know, having the 4 quadrants as I was messing with earlier, that really intrigued me. The step sequencer I really like because of not so much, you know, you can program your 16 things, but as far as all the other capabilities, being able to mute, track arm, track select, all on the step sequencer was a big deal. The built-in mic, I'm a person that likes to beatbox and different things to kind of get like a baseline of where I am. So I will beatbox into it and then I will then go and program my drums that match my beatbox. It helps me get my ideas out a lot faster, or I'll sing into it and then I'll go with finding the notes of the instrument I want to hit that. And it just helps me turn out ideas faster. I think all Groovebox things should have a mic on them. I don't know why that is not a thing. I see me using that feature all the time. The other big thing, the USB-C sampling. Dope, 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 dope. Love it. Downside, I have 2 phones. I have Android as my personal and I have iPhone as my work. My Android is a 21, a S21. For whatever reason, it will not let me use the USB sampling on here. Whenever I hook it up, it says that the app doesn't have recording permissions. If you know how to get around that or what I'm doing wrong, please let me know. But anytime I hook it up to my iPhone, which I believe this is a 15, no issues, samples really well, everything works as advertised. Once again, no complaints. And lastly, as far as things that I'm a huge fan of, you know, I love the whole idea of being able to just take it with you. I play a lot outside and I'll bring my gear to like, you know, coffee shops or sit around on the deck or the couch and stuff. And it never was a thing for me. You know, I always had a computer, I always had my machine. I didn't really have to look at my computer. My computer is a touchscreen, so like it helped me navigate my samples and stuff pretty easily. But it wasn't like, I didn't know how much easier that could be until I was on the couch with my son, 9 months, newborn. You know, that's another reason why I might not have been posting as much. And he's asleep on me, and I just had this here with my headphones, and I'm able to get work done while I'm on the couch, and like I don't need a ton of cables. I didn't anticipate liking that as much as I did, but oh my gosh, is that so nice. It's just this, headphones, good to go. Can't state that enough. I'm like, you know, will I need it? Will I need it? Blah, blah. Changed my mind after that moment. Oh my goodness, worth the money at that point. All right. So, you know, like I said, those are a lot of the things that were advertised. Some other things that weren't advertised that is actually a huge thing for me is the sounds in here. You have so many built-in plugins already between the stage piano, the electric pianos, the organs, the synths, you know, your fabric emulations of things. And because of that whole processor RAM situation, you can really get through, you know, your sounds quickly to demo things just like you would in a DAW or on my Yamaha. So it ticks so many boxes that I knew I wanted in a new workstation, but they did it so well in this. And even the synth things with how it lines up with, you know, the Q-Link encoders, and you can adjust things like that. So it helps you learn synthesis more, and especially with the more complicated plugins that they have. All things I wanted in a device, and like I said, it nails it. All right, so like I said, I did mention the size, but like given all the things that this can do and capabilities, like I don't see how they can make it any smaller. I would love for it to be a little smaller, you know, but not like MPC sample size. Just something where like you don't got to get a specialty bag or case to carry this thing around. I think right now I have it in like my Helix case because it's the only thing I have big enough to fit this kind of size. And even then I got to put cushions around it so it doesn't move around too much. Okay, so with that said, talking some more on some of the things that aren't my favorite. All right, so I touched on this earlier, but another thing is the learning curve. And I mean, like, yes, every device has a learning curve. If you did Digitech device or, you know, Electron device or, you know, the teenage engineering things, they all have a learning curve. This is deep. Maybe I just underestimated how much time I have to dedicate to learning this. The learning curve is deep, and you will want to spend some time with the manual to fully understand what exactly these things do as you're navigating your way around it. Like example, I'm in the sample editor and I'm like, oh, I just want to chop a sample. And if we just find something that is a loop, maybe like this. And I was like, I just want to chop a sample. Is it sample edit? You know, and you have this layout thing, which is actually really dope. And I'll touch on that in another video or later. But I'm like, how do you chop? I'm touching things. I'm like, I just want to chop. I'm in my sample edit. I want to chop. Do you hit this? No, it's just playing the sample, you know, like I don't understand. No, okay, maybe it's in this edit, and you go to like samples and you hit this and you're like, oh, I want to cut here. I want to cut here. Embarrassingly enough, I didn't know about these little sub-menus under the menus where you see like these little dots, and it's probably not coming up real well on the screen. Maybe I'll do another video on it. But like where you're like, oh, these are secondary options in here. So now I see chop after I went back to sample edit. Now I get like, okay, you can now chop. And you guys, that took me almost a day of trying to do this on my own, because where I was messing with it, I didn't have internet to just like, you know, look it up. That was embarrassing. Like, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm a knowledgeable dude. Like, no, you're gonna have a learning curve with this, and that's okay. Just make sure you give yourself some time if you're grabbing one of these and you aren't familiar. Like with them, like take the manual, have a coffee, and like really get in here to figure some of this stuff out, or find your favorite YouTuber who already does tutorials on this. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm right here. And really like sit down and mess with this, because it's going to take some time. All right. The only thing that I still have a hard time wrapping my head around is the browser. I would love to just be able to see everything that's on this drum kit right now. You know, I know this is a kick and a snare. So if you go menu, you go browser, you go sample assign, you can kind of see how this is laid out. I would love to just have a one dedicated button for that. But also, we're on a thing of the browser, is if I wanted to go to an expansion, and let's say this is the stuff that comes with it. I go Electric Horizon, and I want to see the samples in there, and you hit this, and there's nothing. It's just blank. Like, okay, where are all my samples that are in this particular pack? You know, where are my loops? You know, and you can hit pack, and like for whatever reason, it just doesn't do that. You have to go in here and like say like, oh, I want to know my melodic things. Then it pops up. I feel like there should be an easier way to go about that. You should also be able to see all of your kicks or all of your snares. And I guess you can if you just go to content and just hit snares, it'll come up. I really think like the browser needs some more attention. Also, one thing that I'm spoiled with from Maschine, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna try not to be harsh on my comparisons and criticisms because they are two different companies, is on Maschine they have a separate option between like samples and like loops. And I'm a person that loves different loops and things, and I wish there was that deviation here. Like, you know, sometimes I just want a snare, and sometimes I want an individual shaker sample, but then other times I want a shaker loop, and there's no way to just look by loops. I'm now typing in like numbers trying to hit like a BPM. So like say if you hit like shaker, put like a 2, maybe not 2, we'll say an 8. I'm trying to catch the 80 BPM things. Nothing. It's like, what are you talking about? Hit samples. Oh, okay. Now I'm in here, you know, and really what I want is like, see, shaker 80 is a loop. I really wish they would deviate or designate or insert word, you know, I'm trying to say here between, oh, you want a sample of a shaker or you want a loop of a shaker. So that's one small gripe, you know, in different things, but I don't want to get too far into it. I really do love this device. It can do so many things, and I didn't even talk about it on the audio interface side and some of the built-in effects. All that, well, as you saw some of them in the video, all that will be coming later. I just wanted to touch base, say that I am now a happy member of the MPC community, and I look forward to making amazing music with this device in the future. And hopefully you guys stick around with me as we embark on this journey together. If you have answers to some of the questions that I've asked in this video, please, let's have a conversation down low, leave a comment, and I'm learning every day, and I'm always looking for more help. So please do that for me if you know the answer to some of that here. But in the meantime, that's all I have for today. I do want to thank you for rocking with me. You have a good one, and keep making music.